Hey, Guoba here. A brand new roguelike deck building RPG has just come out, Chaos Zero Nightmare, and it's out now on Android, iOS, and PC using the Stove client. Be sure to use my link in the description to check it out. But today I'll be going through all the aspects of the game and what I liked or didn't like as much from the several hours I played. This video is sponsored by Chaos Zero Nightmare, thank you to them, so feel free to take my opinions with a grain of salt, and let's check out this new Gacha RPG. So the setting first, I absolutely love. Essentially, an unknown infestation called Chaos is infecting planets and all life on them, spreading across the universe, having already affected and destroyed our Earth. We are the captain, though, of a large ship with remnants of humanity, and our mission is to eradicate these infestations. There's a whole amnesia plot as well. So the corruption and amnesia stuff isn't new, but the way it's all told is interesting, and there seems to be weird anomaly time dimension shenanigans that I can't wait to see as well, and the setting itself is amazing. The mutated creatures in the Chaos Zones are pretty gruesome. It is a dark game, and I legitimately felt anxious during the opening scenes because there was this massive looming monster in the city. They kind of have it lurk in the background early on, so you know it's there, you know it's on its way, but you don't know what it will do. And then it makes orange juice out of one of my teammates. Anyway, the game just has a nice new feeling compared to most games in this genre, and it isn't afraid to show it off, and I hope they keep showing it off. There are also strongholds though where humanity still lives on, and those are nice breaks in between crushing eldritch beasts. There are some beautiful cutscenes in the story, there's some nice CG art too, but low resolution on PC for some reason, and the music helps complement the whole vibe very well. But the most important thing for me is combat, so let's talk about that. Chaos Zero Nightmare's combat is inspired by many great games and uses this in several nice ways. You have 3 characters and a deck of cards, more on this later, and you'll draw 5 of these a turn. You have action points, which you use to play cards that have cost. You also have 3 partners, which are like your gacha weapon system from other games. They have passives, skills you can activate, and stat buffs to the main character you've equipped them on. Anyway, you can attack with cards, heal with them, shield. You can use cards that draw cards, upgrade your characters, or more. Enemies can give you cards that you need to get rid of, or clog up your deck with cards that you can't even play. Strategizing around all these different things is what makes the game super fun and fresh. And I say super fun because that's not even all. The cards you have in your deck are based on your roster, which means your runs will change a ton even if you swap 1 or 2 characters out of your 3-unit roster. And even with the same team, your deck can be completely changed in runs in the roguelike mode. And that roguelike mode is the Chaos runs, where you navigate a chaos-infected area with branching paths. They have mystery nodes where you can encounter weird NPCs, rest nodes to heal up and sometimes buy things, elite enemies that you can challenge for greater rewards, normal enemies, and a final boss at the end that you have to be ready for. In this mode, you can upgrade cards with a system called Epiphanies, which can permanently alter a card in completely different ways. And these are of course different for every unit. You can also remove cards you dislike, for example you delete a damage dealing ability from your healer. You could even buy neutral cards, aka ones that aren't a part of your unit's normal kit, but that you can now add to their kit. And completely outside of cards themselves, you'll also find equipment out and about that you can equip to each member in your team, giving further synergies, buffs, or new abilities like being able to counterattack or apply debuffs to enemies. This equipment is free, you just gotta get it. But then, does all your stuff just disappear, all that fun deck building you just did? No. That's how you deck build. And these runs are saved and can then be equipped by your characters to use, for example, in the story or for farming or the end game. So you use a Chaos run, you make the best build yet, and then you can use that to speed up everything else. It's a really cool system. And if you ever get bored of one build, well, you just swap saves. You can swap saves on every unit you have, making the deck building possibilities infinite. And that's still not all for combat. Yes, there is the deck building aspect, there's a second system which fits perfectly into the game's thematic, as I said earlier, and that is ego and stress. You might have seen something like this before, but characters develop stress during runs when taking damage. If they take too much, they suffer a mental breakdown, and your team's potency is affected. But there are ways around it, like killing the enemy before you get hurt, shielding to prevent damage, or stress removal. As for Ego, it's an ultimate meter-based system that builds up when you play your various cards and when defeating enemies. Every character has their own ego skill, and so does their partner, and they are quite powerful. They are also pretty beautiful at times. I just like that they incorporated something like this into the game. It makes so much sense for the setting. And I know I said it a lot, but that is still not all. There's still a little more complexity to the game, but I don't want to make a 20-minute combat guide video, and honestly I probably messed up parts I talked about earlier because there is so much. I just really like the elements of combat, and as it is the core gameplay, I'm so glad they nailed it because it doesn't feel like a chore right now, it feels fun. That being said, the first complaint I have is that I feel like I didn't get it all explained very well in the beginning. I think they need to work a bit on the earlier tutorials, and another similar problem is the tooltips on cards. Cards have a lot, and I mean a lot, of various effects, because every character has their own set of them. The tooltips often are confusing, and they really need to make sure every effect is properly explained. We do have online resources for that, but that's one thing I'd love for them to fix because there are so many gameplay systems and things to look out for, which can be fun, but also overwhelming if not properly taught. Anyways, outside the scary combat, there is a more chill place to be. Arc City is your hub area where you can interact with characters, frizz them up as you do. There is a whole policy system where your city is facing a crisis and you'll need to manage policies to prevent it for rewards. I don't know who put me in charge, but yeah. You can chill at the diner for buffs in your future runs, or get some coffee to restore your stamina. I would have preferred tea personally, but that's just me. And there is a whole research area to further boost your capabilities in the city, and a shop where we can spend our points from being the chief to buy goodies. But finally, at Arc City, to further add on to that stress mechanic from before, there is a counseling system here. When units get properly traumatized, and it can happen a lot, and you might even want it to happen, which is weird, they need counseling. This will help them get back into the field. And of course, it is a gacha game, and so let's quickly check that out. You have standard pools and rate up banner pools, classic, and these cost 160 of your special currency, classic. There are combatants and partners that you can drop. Combatants are the units you use in combat, partners are the ones you equip to said characters, and can only be equipped by the same role that they follow. For example, controller characters can only equip controller partners. I do hope they introduce some of the partners as playable characters eventually though, because there are some neat designs that are stuck in partner hell, which you'll only really see during their ego skills. For rarity though, characters drop as either 4 stars or 5 stars, and partners are from 3 to 5 star. I haven't played enough to know the meta, but it seems there are viable lower ranked characters, like Mika who generates a whole ton of AP and heals, and Cassius I love for shuffling around cards in my deck. Tressa also seems like a strong and cheaper DPS. For banners, we have a beginner banner, which is discounted, and a 5-star guaranteed in 50 pulls. As always, my first multi had to be lucky to make the video look better, thank you RNGesus. Everything else is standard, but a nice thing for some is that characters and partners are split into 2 separate banners, so you don't get a random partner when you just want Chiron. But anyways, I don't want to explain every single detail about the gacha system either. I also haven't encountered hard content yet, so I can't say how impactful pulling rarer characters will be. The rates look decent though. The pity likewise is nice, lower than a lot of newer games, but there is also that 50-50 system which I don't enjoy. Though an important note is that rate up characters get added to standard once their banner ends, and the rate up partner banner is a guarantee, not a 50-50. So outside of really wanting a rate up character like a collab or a seasonal one, I'm just going to be saving my pools. As for the characters themselves, we have a decent amount of variety considering we're only at launch. Cassius has got to be one of my favorites because he isn't just a person. Chiron is one of my favorites too, and Renoa's drip is pretty immaculate. There are of course a whole load of waifus for people that love that kind of stuff, but I hope they continue to experiment with the theme of the game to introduce lots of unique designs. I want more uniqueness, and I'll be playing a bunch waiting for it. And in the story at least the characters are pretty cool so far, and they have stories unattached to the main character at times so it doesn't feel like it's all about you. And yeah, there are a ton of goodies and rewards at launch, there are also lots of events naturally, so right now I'm swimming in pools and currency and I'm happy. I recommend checking out Chaos Zero Nightmare though because it is launch, there's a lot of fun and discussion going around, and the events are always juicy when the game first comes out. The gameplay itself is very cool to me, I love roguelikes, I love deck builders, so it's a great match for me. But try out the game today using my link below, and if you do end up downloading, let me know why and what your favorite part of the game is so far. Thanks for watching, and have a Guoba day.